We are in the month of August, the 8th month of the year. Oh my God, can you believe it? We are 8 months in this 2026 year. You know what that means, right? We only have 4 more months before it's tax year 2027 or just 2027 period. But guess what? It's Saturday. Hey, it's Saturday. Hey, hey. Y'all, it has been 2 entire weeks since I have seen you all. Let me tell you, when I say I miss y'all so much. Like, I really, truly miss y'all. Like, man, it is such a joy to be here today just to, drop some gems and some knowledge on you, to get some feedback and some interaction. And it's Saturday. Why not? No matter how busy it is, who don't want to know how to save their money more or make more money? Whatever that may look like for you, guess what? You are in the right place to be. What's up? Happy Saturday. Yay. Yo, wait, before I kick off the show, right? Everybody know I love cake. Birthday cake especially, with buttercream icing. But then everybody know that my number one favorite cake is caramel cake, right? Like, that's just the top, right? So a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to get some caramel cake, but unfortunately, somebody destroyed my cake. But not to worry, not to worry. Today, my friend and my buddy came by, just out the blue. And guess what they had, y'all? A caramel cake. So when I tell you the show is over, I'm going to have me a nice piece of caramel cake and some cold ice water. Oh, I'm in 7-Heaven. I got some caramel cake. Thank you. And then he also gave me a piece of his, check this out, cake, banana pudding peach cobbler pound cake. Baby, let me tell you, not only do I smell the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the vanilla, the almond vanilla, I smell it all. I can't wait to try it. So before I want to jump into my show, I want to speak to everybody that's tuning in on my live. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let me see who I got on the live so far. We got a special guest on live, my auntie cousin Shan. Hey, all the way from the west side of Chicago. Hey, y'all, she makes some really good caramel cakes too. So, if I stayed next to her, like, I would have me a caramel cake like every day. I would have to. She made good chocolate cake too. I'm just not a fan of chocolate cake like that. I'm a caramel cake girl. I'm a pound cake girl, a red velvet cake girl, a birthday cake girl with buttercream icing. To anybody else who's on live, if I did not call your name, I'm so sorry. Please let me know you in the building. And if you're tuning in later, that's also great too. Now, y'all know how I like to kick off my show with fun facts. And speaking of food, our fun fact today is going to be about can openers, right? Like, okay, y'all know I love food. You can look at me and tell I love food, right? So, I'm sitting here wondering, like, who invented this can opener? Like, who really thought about opening up a can and to have, like, not just the electronic device, but you remember the hand can openers that you had to twist and turn all the way around? I still love those. I don't like the electric ones. I can't use them. But yeah, I'm like, how did this get invented? So, curious minds want to know. And so I found out. So let me share it with y'all. Our fun fact today is about can openers, right? So the can opener was invented in 1858 by Ezra Warner. Like, that's a long time ago. Like 1858, that's a long time ago. Now, 48 years after the actual can itself was patented, early food can distributions had heavier cans and it was thick an inch. And so, you have canned goods in there. And like people wanted to get in their canned goods without, like, in the cartoons, we see the chisel and the hammer. So no. So because it was heavy and nearly a quarter inch thick, the instructions on the labels actually told people to use a hammer and a chisel because that would be best, right? See, I just said that back in the old school. Now, let's go a step further. In 1870, William Lehman patented the rolling cutting wheel, which is that little bitty wheel and the can opener that actually cuts through the actual can opener, right? Oh, and wait, I did some research on how did we make it. They talked about maybe about 4 months ago about can openers. I'm waiting on that episode again. But yeah, so now this is how it all came about, right? So during World War II, the U.S. Army developed a P-38 can opener. And it was real tiny in size, right? But it had hinged metal. And like you could put it in your pocket and whatever. And what's so ironic about this is that John Wayne, the Duke of Earl, was into this can opener, right? And John Wayne, he opened rations swiftly in the field. So the cans that they had back in the Western days, this can opener that came about actually formed and helped them to open up the cans to get all of their food out of, right? Now, in 1866, J. Osborne invented the tin can with an attached metal key. So I know you all, if y'all like the canned sardines, or if you like some of the corned beef and hash, and you see the little key on the can, and those are sometimes difficult. And if you doing it too hard, it may break. So now you got to take the knife and the hammer and go all around the can. Or if you like me, you get frustrated and just throw it away after so long, or after you cut yourself so many times, right? So that's how that was all incorporated. Now, the Star Can Company in San Francisco improved William Lehman's can opener by 1925, adding a syringe around the little metal piece. That's why you can't like put your finger in it and touch it. It's like so hard to clean. So you submerge it in your water and your bleach, and you take your towel and go around it, but it's still kind of hard. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. So then after that, here comes 1931, and guess what they bring out? The electric can opener. Now, what's ironic about that is that it does open larger cans, but I think you need the industrial one to get the big cans. Like, what if we don't use small cans? What if we got like a family of 8 and we use big cans? Like, I think we should have like a bigger industrial. Or if you're old school like me, you just gonna take that thing and wash the can off and take that and go room, room, room. Because it just makes more sense to those who think like me. But those are our fun facts today, talking about the can opener. I hope y'all got some enjoyment out of that, because I did. I have a new respect for can openers now. So now in the grocery store, I could be like, were you the can opener that was made in 1858? And then when I see the electric side of the can openers, I'm like, you're the ones that came about in the 1900s, like 1931. Boom. Yes. It's Saturday. Hey, it's Saturday. Can y'all tell I missed y'all? Now, I want to jump into our announcements for today. Got some very nice announcements for you. As always, look, people, we're in what they call the third quarter. Come October 1st, we'll be in the fourth quarter of the year. If no other time than now, please create your IRS accounts. If some people have moved and relocated, some people have had a name change, like whatever that may look like for you. Because during tax time, that busy season, January, when it starts, no one thinks to not only update their information, but resubmit a new W-4 form so you can get all of your documents sent to you. A lot of companies have moved where they send it to you via email. But so many people are locked out of their emails. They don't have access to that device anymore. And it's like such an hassle. So if you create your IRS ID Me account, any place you work, they're going to report that to the Internal Revenue Service. And guess what, people? It is okay to be nosy about you. Know what's on your social, know what's on your EIN number, know what's attached to your name. Know what these federal and state entities have on you because they can make mistakes. If you're in the state of Illinois and you're an Illinois resident, it is highly encouraged that you create your My Tax Illinois account. That's on the state side. That tells you how your state is looking, correspondence, if they're trying to send you any mail, if you have any balances, if you're a business that has your business information with your business taxes, your withholding taxes, your unemployment taxes. So it's so very important to have these accounts open, not just for the business side, but for you personally. Don't you want to know who you owe? Don't you want to know if you have a balance or not with these people? The way that our economy is moving, everything is being readily available online. So nobody wants to talk on the phone anymore but me. Anyway, yes, create these accounts so you can know what is out there on you. Now, for our summer schedule for Let's Talk Finance podcast, as you know, we're doing every other week. Because people are enjoying this beautiful hot weather out here that they also like, and I'm just so waiting on the heart of fall and the heart of winter. Like, I cannot wait. I'm so over this heat. I don't care about the rain. I don't care about the thunderstorms. I don't even care about the power outages. I just don't like the heat. Like, ugh. But it's almost over. And the bugs, OMG, when I rub my hand down my arm across my ankles, it feels like you driving on a bumpy road. The mosquitoes done tow me up so bad. No. Ready for the fall and the winter. So we'll be hosting our show bi-weekly. However, our next show is supposed to air the end of the month, which is August 29th. But we're going to do that show on August 22nd, which is next Saturday. We won't be airing live on the 29th. So just want to let you know that. All shows will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, and they do stay on our page for 30 days. Now, because our schedule has changed, our schedule can last up to 75 minutes. If you're able to stay those 75 minutes, great. If not, we totally understand. No biggie. I promise you it's not. Thank you for your support. Thank you just for spending your time with us and just coming out here getting some of this education when it comes to your finances, right? Now, here's the special part of the show that I like is birthdays. Happy birthday to the August people. Yay. Just celebrated my wife's birthday on the 10th and my nephew's birthday on the 12th. Got some special other birthdays coming up this month. My best friend, Chrissy. Her birthday is on the 21st. My friend Denise, all the way from the ATL, her birthday is on the 25th. And my Nana, rest in peace, her birthday is on the 28th of this month. Last but not least, I cannot forget about my Barbarette. Project P Patient's birthday is coming up on the 31st. We want to wish everybody a happy birthday. We want you to celebrate. Do it in decency and in order. Have a ball. And, even though I got some cake right now, because somebody bought me some cake. Oh! If y'all get some birthday cake, share it with me because I want some of y'all cake too. Yes, I want some of y'all cake too, baby. So that's how that's going to go. So happy birthdays to all our August people. Please celebrate, enjoy with decency and enjoy and order. Let's just remember that we were blessed with one more year. Let's just keep it going. Let's not stop it, right? Now, as always, as I ask, please like, love, comment, engage, and share the content. You never know who you're going to touch by sharing content. Sometimes I get on Facebook and I ask questions, and sometimes I just scroll and I look at different pages and, you know, look at other algorithms to other social media platforms. And some of the things I look for unintentionally, I find on social media. Because sometimes I just don't want to ask these questions. It may come from embarrassment. Not that I'm embarrassed, because I ain't got nothing to hide. But, you know, a lot of times you may just don't want nobody in your business. So if they're not in your business and the content is there, nobody has to know anything. So, like, y'all, please love, like, interact, engage, give feedback, share this content. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go right on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you will be updated on all our shows and our events that we are doing here on Let's Talk Finance Podcast. Ooh, happy Saturday! So again, I want to thank everybody that's tuning in online. If you're online, thank you so much for sharing your Saturday with me. I truly appreciate it. Get your favorite beverage. Take notes. We're about to jump into a wonderful, wonderful show. And guess what? If this is your first time joining us here at LTPF, we want to say thank you and welcome to the family, because we are family here. Here on Let's Talk Finance Podcast, we break down your finances with clarity. We break down your finances with faith and empowerment. And we do that because we want you to understand what your money is. We want you to understand it's more than just the numbers. It's what's behind the numbers. It's the confidence. It's the purpose. It's the alignment. It's kind of like, where do you see yourself in the next 12 months? We don't have to worry about the next 5 years. Let's worry about the next 12 months. What are you doing in preparation for that? Do you see the fruits of your labor? Doesn't matter if you make $5 an hour, $15 an hour, $35 an hour. Are you reaping the benefits of your labor? So that's what we come here and we break down all of that for you so you can have a better understanding. Oftentimes, a lot of people go into business because they look at going into business for themselves because A, they don't want to work for nobody else, which is phenomenal. I get that. And B, some people look at it as like, okay, I'm going to get rich overnight. And guess what? That's possible, because anything is possible. However, you have to have a plan, right? You have to know where you're going. And so when you're starting a business, you got to remember that it requires some work. It requires more than just your phenomenal ideas, right? And when we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about people that have a vision. We talk about people that have passion, and we talk about people with determination, right? All of those are combined. They come together because now here comes this ideal so you can start this blueprint, right? But when it comes to funding, when it comes to compliance, when it comes to business structure, when it comes to financial planning, that's where the uncertainty kicks in at, right? And some of us don't really even think about this. And guess what? I was one of those people. So that's why I'm very transparent and I'm able to tell you what to look for, what to do, how to do it. So you don't have to make those same mistakes that I made. Now, if you're like me and you just want to be hard-headed just to see what's going to be the outcome, by all means do so, because I was that kid. You couldn't tell me that the sun was shining and I would believe it. No, I had to go see it. As a matter of fact, my auntie Shan is online. She'll be the first to tell you I was a hard-headed little child. Sometimes I'm hard-headed as an adult, but shh. Now, here are some questions that come about when you're talking about entrepreneurship. And a lot of questions start with, how am I going to be able to fund my business? Where am I getting the money from? Well, do I need an LLC or another business structure? Am I even ready to have a business? Or is it because somebody sat down and told me they had their business and they're doing exceptionally well, and I think that's going to be me? Do I need to produce any type of financial documents? And if so, what are those financial documents that I need to approach and present? How do I protect my business, especially if I'm new to the business? What do I have to do to keep my business afloat, especially if there is competition within a 15, 20, 30, or 40-mile radius, right? So these are questions that some entrepreneurs ask themselves, right? But today, we're removing that fear, right? Because again, once you start thinking about all these questions and you start putting what ifs in it, now that fear and that uncertainty is kicking in, and now it's taking over that confidence level, and it's replacing it instead of preparing you for what you're trying to do. So in our episode today on Let's Talk Finance, we're going to discuss how to formalize your business foundation, how to explore funding options, how to understand the importance of financial readiness, and create a roadmap to the positions for the businesses and for your business to grow. So the topic of our show today is how to fund and formalize your business without fear. And sometimes we think that we don't have fear when it comes to our business, when in all actuality, we do have some fear. Because again, the main thing that we think about now is capital. Are we providing services? Where are we going to get these clients from? Social media is taking over. How do we market? We have automation that's taking over. We have AI that's replacing people. So how is all of this going to factor in? And sometimes that also creates that level of uncertainty. I know. Guess what? I'm there with it. I challenge myself when it comes to some of these things, but then I remember what my mom once told me before. It's a job out here for everybody. I believe you me, whatever it is, somebody do it. If you got a fish tank, it's somebody out there that clean fish tanks. You got a plumbing or a toilet problem, it's somebody out here that fix it. So now that's how I'm looking at AI, automation, and all the changes that's coming. Somebody out here does that. So what does that come with? That comes with networking. What does that come with? Building relationships, right? What I also want you to remember, and this is not just for business owners, this is just for us personally, because if our finances are not in order personally, then now that fear kicks in. How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the tuition for the school? God forbid if you're not working and you're depending on someone else. So now here comes that other uncertainty. Are they doing it because they love to do it? Are they doing it to throw it in my face or to bring it back up at a later date? So these are questions that settle in on us. And no matter how we try to push it away, it's still there. And we got to learn how to stomp down on that. So what I want you to remember is that fear, it comes from the unknown, right? But when you have the right information, the right resources, the right plan, you can move forward with confidence. So that's just like if I tell you that, Allstate is open Sunday to Sunday, 10 to 8. And you look at me and be like, nah, I don't think that's right. So you feel uneasy about it because you're unaware. So what do? You're going to go and you're going to do your research. You're going to go online to their website. You're going to look at their business hours. You may even pick up the phone and say, hey, do you have special business hours for upcoming holidays or just because it's the weekend and I just want to make sure? So if you know you could contact that individual or just go to the website, you no longer have that fear because it's right there. When I'm talking to people and I'm giving them information about their finances, I'm confident in it because I know. And I'm going to take you to the IRS website or the state website and I'm going to show you. If it's not there, I'm booking you on my calendar so we can call the IRS so we can hear it because you need to be informed, right? Now, so the first segment that we're going to talk about is reset your business. And I've been talking about this on social media all year. Reset, recenter, refocus. And when we do that with ourselves, that's one thing. But we have to turn around and do the same thing when it comes to our finances. So the difference is we need to reset our business, meaning once we reset, recenter, and refocus, we need to review, recollaborate, and restart strong, right? You have to, because you're doing something different. You're making those necessary adjustments, right? Now, we all know that we're in the month of the summertime, right? We're in the heart of the summertime. Now, summer can bring a shift to a lot of different businesses depending on the type of business that you have. Some seasons are slower than others. Some projects are delayed, client activity is reduced, or people just simply change their routine, which they have that ability to do, right? Water break. So they have that ability to restructure that, right? So now, as a business, when it slows down, that doesn't mean that you stop working. That means that you take that slow period and you do everything you have to do behind the scenes. Because if your back end isn't up and working, your front end is definitely not going to work, right? And that's the time when you think about updating all your policy manuals, updating all your procedures, getting your employee handbook together, getting your marketing plan together, getting your strategic plan together, revisiting your SWOT analysis, reviewing your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, your cash flow statement. You use that time to do all of that and get that together. If you're under certifications, make sure all your documents are in order so you can get ready and start submitting these documents. You have to ensure that those documents are readily available. Do you have access to your EIN letter? Do you have access to your Articles of Incorporations letter? Yes, you can say you have it, but you having it and you having access to it is two totally different things. So the question that I pose to you all today is, how do I prepare my business for where I'm going? And guess what? I am in that process right now. Thanks be to God, we just made 5 years, Monday, July 20th, 2026. Again, thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to everybody that participated. If you was online, yeah, I know it was kind of shaky with the video, but that's coming soon. Don't worry about it, getting some edits to that. But we done hit that 5-year mark. So now, where are we going? Because we can't do the same thing we did those 5 years. We got to now improve and do better, because you got to do better and better and better and better. You can't stay stagnant no matter how it looks. Listen, people, when ain't no money coming in, I'm in this office because it's always something to do. I don't care if you're updating your database with contact information. It's something to do. You have to go in there and do the work. It's not going to fall on your lap. Trust me, I know. I thought it would and it didn't. You got to do the work. So when it comes to resetting your business finances during the summer months or when it slows down, right? Some people, they strongly focus on the revenue, but they forget to evaluate the financial health behind the revenue. Because see, you had to do something to get that revenue, right? So now you got it, and although it may have or may have not went out the door, you did something to get it. So what did you do? How did you keep that going? What did you build on top of that? How was that working for you? That's what we don't think about as business owners. We don't even think about that personally in our lives. Again, our blueprint is, I got paid on Friday. I got to pay the kids' tuition. I got to pay my car insurance. I got to pay the light bill. Now, next check, I got to get necessities, I got to get groceries, and that's the rest of the other miscellaneous bills. That's how we think on the personal level. But we got to get out of that because we are not incorporating, financial health when it comes to our finances. And let's talk about it. Now, let's talk about resetting your finances because I think that's important. A financial reset means reviewing your income. You have to review your income. I don't care if you get paid once a month, twice a month, bi-weekly, or weekly. You got to know what's coming in to the last penny. You have to know because that money is going to eventually go out the door. It can't go out the door if you don't know what came in the door. So I don't want you to think this is just for business owners when it's not. It's for business owners and, of course, us personally. Now, the income is what revenue came in that quarter. What did you do? Did you sell dinners? Do you have a clothing line? Do you have a limo service? Well, do you just go out and sell bottles of lemonade and cookies? Like, what is it that you're doing to generate that revenue? What products work best for you? And are these opportunities increasing your sales? Because if they're not increasing your sales and if it's not bringing you revenue, now it's time to make those adjustments and whatever that is. On the personal side, if you have 3 streaming services and one of those services can do just about whatever the other 2 services do, you need to eliminate 2 of those services because now you're watching the flow of your revenue. Now, your expenses is subscriptions that aren't necessary. See, I just said that. What is it necessary? Why are you still holding on to this subscription? Is it bringing you any revenue? And so what I find myself doing, because I don't like to let go of a lot of stuff. So what I find myself doing is, okay, do I really need this? If I let this go today, am I going to die right now? So that's what I do to myself to make myself be like, you know what? Forget about that. And then I get technical with it. Okay, well, this is how much it is a month, and I'm paying for it these many months. This is how much I've paid for it in a year. So if I'd have spent this much in 1 year, have I got my year's worth of money worth in watching it? So I try to make it make sense to me, but we got to stop that. We got to let that go. When it comes to your cash flow, right? Do you have enough money available for whatever expenses are coming up? Let's talk about that. We just had thunderstorms out here in the south suburbs. So many homes got affected. A lot of vehicles got affected. Some businesses lost out on things. That's where that cash flow comes in at. Do we have that money where we can say, hey, this gonna cost us $5,000. We got it put up in the safety net. Let's go get it. That's our cash flow. On the business side, if you got clients, are your clients paying you on time? And if they aren't, what proper protocols do you have in place to get your money? And are you planning for future obligations? Because guess what? Something else may happen. Like out here, we had power outages. We had people, homes that were affected by trees, water damage, flooding. We had it all out here. So what are we doing to prepare for that? And we have to prepare for that no matter how it looks. And so on the business side of that, is a business owner may notice, right, the money that they earn. Of course, we're going to notice it because we earned it. However, what are we spending that money on, right? Is it software costs? Is it advertising expenses? Is it operational costs? Do we need to make adjustments in that to save some of that money? Because again, the revenue came in, but do we have any profit on that revenue? Or are we spending endlessly and just don't care? That's a big problem when it comes to us personally and when it comes to some of our entrepreneurs. And it's no fault of anyone's. It's just lack of knowledge because you weren't taught. Because again, you saw, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to be my own boss. I don't got to take no orders. I'm going to get this money how I can, and I'm going to be rich overnight. Not a problem. That's a great idea. But now, since you have that idea, that's your foundation. Let's build on that. Let's make it better. You know what? Forget about better. Let's make it epic. Let's make some noise about it. And we got to think about that on the personal side as well. That was our first topic. Our second topic would be business readiness and goal recalibration. Oh my God, that was a good one. And me and my team, we sit down every quarter and we go over our goals, whether it's our long-term or short-term goals. Hey, where do we need to make adjustments? What do we need to do? Sometimes we don't even have any thoughts, and just out of the clear blue, we're brainstorming and thinking about something. The other night, I woke up and was like, hey, I got an idea. Maybe we should do this for this. And I'm writing stuff down. So when we do have our company meeting, look, this is everything I've brainstormed about. Let's talk about it. Let's see where we can make those necessary adjustments at. And a lot of times, we as people, we don't do that. We get lost in the sauce, as the teenagers say. Now, business readiness is basically with you or your company. Where am I at right now? Just like a balance sheet. The balance sheet tells a snapshot of where you are at this point in time. So right now, as of August 15th, 3:51 p.m., where do I stand? And you can ask yourself that personally or on the business level. Then turn around and ask yourself, where do I want to go? What changes do I need to make to get there? So a goal recalibration is necessary at every meeting that you have quarterly. And what you do when you recalibrate your goals, you're only reviewing your goals, you're measuring the process built on the goals that you've already set, you're making adjustments to unrealistic timeliness, you're identifying barriers, and you're creating action steps. So a lot of times we can have these goals, but if we don't have no steps to go behind them, what are we doing? All we doing is having conversations. That's it. Matter of fact, my business project manager just got on me earlier. We had a conversation not even 48 hours ago, and I'm so geeked and excited. I ain't even waited to have an official meeting. I just started calling people. Hey, I need this. Hey, can you do this? Hey, I'm going to be doing this in 6 years because I'm just excited. But she's like, wait a minute. We ain't even playing yet. We just had a 3-minute conversation, yo. Slow down. And so sometimes we get a step ahead of ourselves. And I know I'm one for doing that because excitement takes over everything. But that's just because I see the vision, and I love to help people. I love to see what I'm talking about come to the forefront. People, remember that your goals should not be written down and forgotten. If you don't have your goals posted up on your wall somewhere or in your phone, in your notebook, it should be somewhere readily available where you go back and you look at your goals. I go back and I still look at the goals that we set when we first initially came together and talked in 2021. Like, look, these are our company goals. And I go back and I revisit it. I even look at the personal goals just to see if I've attacked those unintentionally and finished them. So now I can cross them off the list. And that's what we have to do as business owners and just as everyday people that work. Now, again, we're in quarter 3. We're going to be going to quarter 4 because we only got 4 more months left in this year, right? So this is the time, August, this is the time to start putting our ducks in a row, right? A lot of business owners, and I used to see this in business when I was interning, a lot of business owner thinks taxes is just January, February, March, and April. People, listen to me. Just because Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block, Liberty Tax Services all closed their doors April 15th or 16th, that don't mean taxes stopped. You got people that go out on extensions. You got people that haven't even filed taxes in so long. You got people that's on the straight and narrow and want to file their taxes, but it's hard for them to find someone to file their taxes because of the level of trust, or they don't want to feel overwhelmed. Here is a good part where you need to stop and share the content, because I'm a firm believer if people see this and hear this, again, you never know who you touch. I don't know who's on your timeline. I don't follow the same people you follow, but just maybe one person on your timeline may be struggling with these same business decisions and they don't want to come to you, so they just hold it inside. No, let's share this knowledge. If we out here sharing knowledge of these tornadoes and how our houses look when the trees come through it, if we out here showing how our food look at a restaurant, then we can share something when it comes to our finances, especially when it's about helping our people. So let's hit that share button, people. And I want to take the time to thank some more people that just joined us online. Hey, Pookie. Hey, y'all, my brother online. Whoop, whoop. We have Janine Davis. Thanks for tuning in. Anybody that I missed that I can't see, thank you for sharing your time with me. We're on Let's Talk Finance, and we're talking about how to fund and formalize your business without fear. Definitely trying to do that, right? Because we all know that fear comes in, it settles, and it tries to take over, but we're going to break that cycle. Now, back to what I was saying, I'm sorry, is that tax season doesn't stop. Tax season is year round because you're planning. And guess what? Quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to come smack you, get out the way, and come back and smack you again. And the whole year is gone and you haven't done nothing. So you need to plan accordingly every single quarter. Put time on your calendar. Set this time aside. I don't care if it's an hour to 2 hours or a day. Set it aside to work on your business. Your business is a reflection of you. This is no other time is greater. And guess what? If you're making those appointments with your tax preparers, your accountants, they're going to talk to you about estimated tax planning. They're going to talk about business income tracking. How are you tracking your revenue? What are you using? Whether it's a free or paid software. They're going to talk about your expenses, what you can write off, what you can't write off, what's going to be an asset, what's going to be depreciable. You know what I'm saying? All of that matters, especially when it comes to your taxes. Then let's not forget the number one thing is payroll. How am I going to get paid? Can I make money off my business? How does that work? So now you need to know about the payroll laws, the tax laws, the forms that need to be filled out. And then, of course, guess what? You got bookkeeping. So you got a lot of steps that go into owning this business and operating this business so it can be functional. You want to try to stay organized throughout the entire year, because the minute you fall off, it's not impossible to catch back up, but it's going to be hard depending on where you fell off at, right? Another thing that I like to tell all of my people is that your documents are so important. Last 2 weeks ago, I gave out the statistics from the Small Business Association. It's 57.5% businesses are longevity and stay on top because of all their documentation that they have readily available, and it's there. People, we gotta get on the gravy train. We gotta do better. It's no ifs, and buts, or maybes about it. We have to. Now, in doing so, after we do that, we want to restart our savings and investments rhythm, right? We have to, because look, our business is our child. We invest in ourselves. We invest in our families. We invest in our friends. Let's invest in our business, because that's your child, right? That's how I look at it. So you have financial seasons when you're dealing with a business. And guess what? What do people mainly do when the weather starts breaking? They're planning their vacations. You got slower months that's coming. You have unexpected expenses. You have financial habits that need to be broken. You may need to replenish funds that you've spent. You may need to cut down overhead. So it's a lot of things that you can revisit while you have your slow periods. People, when I tell you I've put together so much during our down peak season, and I call that the blessed season because I got time to sit back, have all my documents in order. And the reason why I'm so particular about that is because if you think about it, wherever you go, whatever you want to do, people are going to ask for some form of documentation. Again, our society is moving to an online society. Everything is done online. So you're not in the office or in the room with these people when they're making decisions. What's in the office and in the room is your documents. Your documents speak volumes. If you're in the state of Illinois, I want my documents to be so loud that if we are in Illinois, if we are in Chicago, Illinois, I want you to be able to hear my stuff all the way in Rockford, Illinois. Because I want my documents to shine just that loud. And that's what we have to do because you're not in that room, people. Your documents are in that room. After we hit all of these travelings that we wanted to do and made all our plans and our months are slow, now we have to think about how are we going to rebuild our savings emergency fund? Do we increase revenue? And if so, how are we increasing our revenue without overcharging for our services? We need to do a retirement account. How does that look for the business? What can we invest in the business? As a matter of fact, me and my brother just had this conversation almost 4 weeks ago. Hey, look, why don't you take some money and invest in your business? There's no certain amount. This is the cap you should have. And so therefore, you keep doing that. You're putting money into the business. That was a phenomenal idea. I really love the idea. And so once you think about investing more, now you're leaving some room, some wiggle room for you to wiggle around like that, right? You want to review your investment goals. You may be a small business now, but who goes to say in the next 5 to 10 years, you're a Fortune 500 company? You need investments because people that you're going to hire, a lot of people look at the benefits more than the pay. If I got a good 401 pay plan, a 403b plan, if I got good medical, you know what I'm saying? I got a good retirement plan and a good investment plan. Oh, I don't care you paying me $40 an hour. I'm going to take that plus the extra that you giving me. I love it. Why not? People live for those benefits now. The benefits now outweigh the pay. For real, it does. Consistency matters. It really does. Now, speaking of that, I got a fun fact for you. According to the U.S. Small Business Association Administration, maintaining accurate financial records and understanding your cash flow is essential factors in helping small businesses make informed decisions and remain financially prepared. That's from the Small Business Association. It's on their website. Go check it out. Now, the flip side to that is, guess what else happens during that off-peak season, right? Your kids are going back to school, right? And now you got to plan for that. That's an expense that never goes away. Not right now. At least it doesn't. So just think about this, right? You got students that prepare before the year begins, right? So as a business owner, we need to prepare before our year ends and our year starts. Preparation is everything, right? When we talk about preparation, we want to talk about optimizing your operations. Excuse me. What do I mean by that? First of all, let's talk about operations, right? And no, I'm not talking about you going into the hospital having an operation. No. So during the fall, and not just my business, your business, but everybody's business should include reviewing their operations process. What does that look like? Are your documents organized? Are your clients receiving consistent services? Are tasks being effectively done? Or are you just looking at them and throwing them to the side? You haven't completed them. How is your spending habits? All of this falls under your operations category. So you have to know how this looks. You have to know how this sits on you personally. How does my bank account look? Hey, I get a monthly statement from ComEd. So it say I saved $16 by doing this. Let me see if I could readjust that. Maybe I should use a different type of bulb. You could just make small adjustments to see small changes. Because listen, people, I understand the struggle is real. And everybody is out here pinching pennies. When I tell you it is a struggle out here, it is a struggle. And I know you saying, Shavonna, it's easier said than done. Ain't nobody got time to save no money because we ain't got it. Guess what? I understand that too. But as my nana used to tell me, Siobhan, put a nickel away every week. And when you get to that first quarter, you're going to be so excited. So even if you have to start with putting away $5 a week or $5 a month, maybe, start somewhere. You'd be surprised how time flies by, and you look up and you be had $300 and you was like, wow, just for saving $5. So we got to get into the habit of doing that, people, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad. And sometimes we have to psych ourselves out to do something. So if I want to save, like I lose paper money, but I love saving change. I love it. I'm like a fiend when it comes for change. Like I would buy your change off of you just so I don't have to have the green money. Give me the change. I will save all the change. And sometimes I have to psych myself out. Let me break this dollar and get some change because in 30 days, I want to see if I could save about $25 in change. And so if you do that, you just be surprised what happens. That's $25 in 1 month I didn't save just in change. So you have to do what works for you. You have to create systems that work for you. In business, some systems you can have can be a client management system. And what that system does is it tracks the information, it communicates, and it does follow-ups when it comes with your clients. Let's talk about accounting systems that tracks your income, it tracks your invoices, your profitability, where you stand, your revenue, your cash flow. When we talk about workflow systems, that shows people how to handle the task right then and there. That's something. That's amazing. And that helps. When we talk about documentation systems, what this does is it keeps important records organized and accessible. Sometimes we save documents, and if we don't create a lot of folders, unlike me, because I know don't nobody else do this, but I forget what I named it. So now I'm sitting here looking and searching. Now I got a whole notebook of what I done named this file. So I got to go to this notebook to find this file that I done saved digitally. Like, no, sometimes it's a bit too much, but it works now. But who goes to say it's going to work like that for the future? So we have to bring about change, right? So without systems, growth causes and creates confusion because you just don't know what some stuff is at. And you need to be able to have that level of confidence and freedom. Like, okay, this system does that. Let me get it to do this so I can process this and I can see it. With systems and your good systems are in place, your growth is now creating opportunity because now you got so much extra time. You have extra opportunity to go out there and do what you need to do. Now, here's a checklist that I would encourage you to follow. And it's something so simple for you. And again, you don't just have to do this on the business side. You can also do this on the personal side because guess what? Your personal finances, they control your personal livelihood. Like your personal finances pay your mortgage, your light, your gas, your food, your car. It pays everything. So you need to know what's going on with you personally. So that checklist would be to review your goals, business and or personal. Update your financial records. You need to know how your finances are looking. You need to know where you are. And if it's not good, how did you get there? If it is good, how did you get there? You have to question this. Don't just question it when it don't look good. Question it when it look good also. It should not be a determining factor. Well, okay, I got this, so I'm not going to question it. No, you question it. Water break. You question it. In business, review your pricing scale. Listen, your price is your price. Know your worth. Your price is your price. And if people don't want to pay your price, they can go somewhere else. Because guess what? When I go to Pete's, and I love Pete's, and they don't got my catfish on sale, I'm going to still buy it because I love fish and that's what I want. I've learned that people spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. It ain't no more talking you out of, man, let me just go and pay you this for this. Because no, I got a story to sing too. So if you going to sing me a story, I'm going to sing you a novel. Because you have to know your worth. Stop getting cheated out of your prices. And if someone else says they're going to go somewhere else or somebody else can do it cheaper, no problem. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Check your inventory resources. You may be using one company where you get your supplies from, but there's another company that has those same supplies, maybe at a cheaper cost amount. Organize your client's information. Have it in a safe space. Do you have all the addresses? Do you have the updated telephone numbers? The updated email addresses? Like, all of this is important. All of the names. What if they did a name change? What if they got married? Anything can happen. So you have to make sure all of that is accurate. Evaluate your marketing strategy. How you going outside? Listen, people, I'm finna be in these streets the next couple weeks talking to people, marketing, getting feedback. I'm finna be like George Jefferson. I'm coming near you. I'm gonna be everywhere because it's a need to have financial literacy. It's a need to talk to people about their finances. And people think that in order to have an accountant or a steady tax preparer, you got to be making six figures. No, I don't care if you make $5 an hour. Why you can't have an accountant or an accounting agency back you? Why? Tell me why, and I'll stop trying to investigate that. But you can't. So now that we're still in August and we still got these 4 months going on, we need to also start thinking about a saving strategy plan for us. Because guess what? Anything can happen. Nothing is perfect. So when we talk about your savings, it should be, am I saving enough money? Am I prepared for the unexpected? Have I created a nice enough standpoint where if I touch this reserve, I'm still going to be okay? That's what it should be like. If you didn't take nothing away from what I just said, to sum that section up, that section is your systems are your classrooms where your businesses learn how to grow. And just think about that, because that's just opportunity. That's growth. I feel like because I've sat here and I've done so much planning and so much readjusting, and I got all the information I need, I can take maybe 15 hours out of my work week and go outside in the streets and market and don't have to fear about anything being done on the inside because I've taken care of that. I utilize my calendar. So yes, formalizing your business without fear, it can be done. Here we talk about this portion, we're talking about funding and formalizing your businesses, right? Because you can do both, We talked about coming away from fear and what to do. So now let's talk about how we just fund it. And again, it's simple. Some people may say, well, that's too hard, or that take too much time, or I don't want to do it like that. And that's fine. You don't have to follow my blueprint. Whatever blueprint that you're following, if it works for you and you see an outcome, by all means, use it, and also make necessary adjustments if you have to. But if not, here's the whole blueprint right here. Now, many entrepreneurs, we want funding, right? We feel like we got a good credit score, while we can't get a line of credit or the funding that we need. However, are we ready for that funding? And funding is not just money, right? Because people look at funding, oh, well, I'm going to get this line of credit or this loan. I'm going to have this money. I'm going to do this. No, because with that money comes responsibility. Because at the end of the year, if you done took out a loan, where's your documents to submit to your tax preparer? Because you're paying interest and you're paying the principal. Are you paying this off within the time frame allotted or beforehand? All of that matters. And see, you're not thinking about that right now. That's not on the forefront, but your preparer is. So you have to have some level of responsibility. Are you going to be able to make those monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly payments, depending on the type of loan that you have? What are you doing to get that so that responsibility kicks in? People, you have to understand that funding is different than going out there and saying, I already have this and I came in with this. You have greater responsibilities when you have funding. And again, if your documents are not in order, it's going to be a problem. With funding, let's start with the number one thing with funding. Let's talk about grants, right? That's when money is awarded to a business that does not have to be repaid. Everybody loves getting a grant, right? But guess what? It's responsibilities that come with that grant. Because you got to do a grant. You got to get with a grant writer. Now you got to tell the grant writer everything that you're looking for and also incorporate their fee within that proposal. Now you have to not only look at it from a business perspective, but you need to look at it from a reader's perspective and the loaner's perspective to see if you're going to get the same perspective across the board. And if not, you got to redo it again. So the next line of funding would be loans. That's when you borrow money that you have to pay back. Then you have what we call a line of credit. That's flexible access to funds that can help manage your cash flow. Let me see. A good example of that would be, let's say you made a credit card purchase and you bought some supplies. Before that credit card statement hits your mailbox or your email, you done already paid it off. That's a line of credit. You don't want that bill to hit you if you can pay it off before then. But if not, I understand. You have to pay it when you can. But that's how some lines of credit work. Now, can loans, funding, grants, can any of that affect your taxes? It depends. That's why you need to sit down with your accountant or your tax preparer. And when you're receiving money, you need to ask yourself, like I just said, is this money taxable? Is it going to create a debt for me? How do I record this? Do I record it at all? Can I hide it? If I hide it, what's going to happen to me? Are there any other requirements that the people I'm getting the loan from is not going to tell me? Prime example, a lot of people take down from their 401k. They're not under the impression that when you file your tax return, you're going to get hit with an additional 10% penalty if you're under 59 and a half. A lot of people don't know that. But when they call the 401 companies, it's not up to the companies to tell them that. What they will tell you is I would strongly suggest you talk to a tax preparer or your accountant about how to proceed with this and how this is going to affect your tax situation. That's what initially happens. And some people just look at it as like, well, I got it. Well, it's gonna help the business. Well, I'm gonna be able to do this and do that. And all of that's great. That's all fine and dandy. No problem. I'm not taking that from you. However, you want to be able, if you're bringing that over to your business, you want to be able to say, look, I've made this conscious decision. Now I've put in place how to pay this back without it affecting anything dealing with the business. And if it does, I've also planned for that. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't think that far in advance, right? We just don't. When we talk about a line of credit, right? Business credit means that you're building a financial representation, right? That's just like for us, if on the personal side we report to Equifax for our credit, right? If something is wrong, it goes right to your Equifax, your FICO. The business line also have people that they report to. So for businesses, we use Dun and Bradstreet. So you have reporters that report to this agency on you. Are you paying your bills on time? If you were granted a loan or a line of credit, are you paying it back on time without any issues? And they report this, right? Now, the benefits of that is that you have business opportunities, you've built business relationships, people can trust you, and they're more willing to loan to you because they know your history, period. And that's because you've established that. You're responsible, and that's what they look at. Now, once they're done looking at that, it's no problem. When you come back, maybe the third or fourth time, they may not ask you for all the documents they've previously asked you for. Why? Because you've already built that relationship. You've already built that reputation. And so that's what they're standing on. Again, you're not in the room. Everything you do and all your documents is in the room. Now, also as a business owner, again, we're excited about being a business owner. And sometimes we think about being a business owner just when we're in conversation amongst friends. Just because your friend has an LLC doesn't mean that that's going to be the perfect structure for you. Just because your friend has a non-for-profit, that doesn't mean that you having an S corp is going to be the same thing for you. You need to get with a tax preparer and an accountant to figure that out. And why do you need to figure that out? Because you have certain liabilities, you have certain reporting requirements, you have certain growth requirements. What do I mean? Let's talk about it. Your first entity structure is an LLC. And the LLC is often chosen for flexibility and liability protection, right? Because some people will say, well, if I got an LLC, I can't be sued. Boo! Yes, you can. Do your homework. You can. So now let's go to an S corp. Many people think that if you have an S corp, you're exempt from everything. That's not true. That's not true at all. You get tax advantages that qualify for a business if you have an S corp, but you're not exempt from taxes at all. When you have a corporation, you're choosing your entity and you have your own ownership structure. So it's best to know the different type of entities that you are going to be getting involved in and what you're going to be dealing with. On each side, when you talk about the cash flow, even after you've received funding, you have to create a plan. So let's just say, for example, somebody gave you 10 grand. What is that 10 grand going to go to? Well, depending on your business, let's say for me, I would start with equipment. Of course, I would want to update and upgrade all computers and computer screens. I have 3 screens now. I need to go to 6 screens. So on your equipment, you may spend $3,000. On your marketing, because you want to have a marketing presence, you may spend $2,000. On your operating costs, which is your overhead and everything that comes under that, that may be about $2,000. Your reserves, you want to have some money put up just because, that's $2,000. Maybe 2,000, 1,500. And then professional development, because you got to pay for licenses, you got to pay for certificates, you got to pay your professional. So you want to have maybe that 1,000 or 1,500 put up. But every dollar supports the growth. Every single dollar goes to what it is you're trying to fund for your business. And again, we don't know because it hasn't been taught to us. No one has told us about it. We've gotten yelled at about it, but no one has explained it to us. Here's your blueprint, people. Every other Saturday, we're giving away this information. Here's a good time right now to share that content. Hit that share button. Hit the like button. Hit the comment button. We care about your feedback. We care about what you're thinking about. We care about your opinion. That matters to us on LFTP. So we need to know that. I'm sorry, LTFP. I said LT. How I put the talk before finance. That mean I talk too much. But from this segment, what I want you to take away is that funding your business means that you're going to open doors. That means that you're creating more opportunities. That means that your business structure strategy is determining how you're walking successfully. That's what that's telling me that you're doing. So here's what I'm going to do, right? I know every week I give y'all all the challenge. Some people call me and tell me about it. Some people text me about it. And then some people just don't do it at all. But I challenge each of you all on the live right now that's coming in on the live later on. I'm going to give you a 90-day business readiness challenge. And you could incorporate that into your personal challenge. So just imagine this, right? Now, we're in the month of August, and we all know that for real, taxes are due April 15th. But it is now August 15th. What if the new law passed that taxes are due 90 days from today? And this is August. That means November 15th, everybody's taxes is done, is ready, and needs to be submitted to the federal and state entities, right? So what if your taxes were due right now? Is your business ready? Are you ready as an individual, right? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. Now, the questions behind that would be, are your financials already organized and in order? Is your income and expenses being tracked? Or do you got to scramble and go find that? Do you know if you're going to have an estimated tax liability? And if so, are you ready to make those payments or pay in full? Do you have all the documents that you need readily available? For the next 90 days, like it's coming right now. Like, are you ready mentally for this? Have you been preparing for this? And if you said no to any one of those questions, my question to you is going to be why? Because you listen to the show often enough to know that this is what you need to be doing. And not just you, everybody else. That's why I think you should share the content, because you never know. I'm best when you challenge me. If you challenge me and tell me I can't do something, I'm going to try my darndest to prove you wrong, more so than the challenge itself, because I don't like to be challenged. So what I challenge you to do is, for the next 90 days, 1, clean up your finances. What do I mean? Business owners, start reviewing your books from January up until right now. Organize your receipts. Get your bank statements in order. Look at your expenses. Make sure you're tracking everything accurately. On the personal side, look at all your check stubs. Don't just look at your direct deposit. Make sure all your taxes are coming out. If no taxes have came out, you need to ask that question, why? unless you're on a 1099. If enough taxes haven't came out, and we talked last year and you're aware of that, and this year it looks the same, we now in August. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? Let's revisit that. Let's look at that. Let's gather all our bills together. Have we saved? How does it look now versus how it looked 3 months ago? Did we save? What did we do differently? 2, we want to finish strong. How do we finish this year strong? We review our goals. So them goals that we planned back in January or December coming into January, what do those goals look like? How do those goals look to you? Or did you just forget about them and put them on the back burner? Can you go pick up those goals and look at them and be like, wow, unintentionally, I could check this off my list because I've done it unintentionally. Or guess what? You know what? This may take me a little bit longer than what I anticipated. So instead of it being a short-term goal, I'm going to make it a long-term goal because then I have time to focus on it. That's what we want to do. Then we want to build our vision for 2027. Business owners, that downtime that you have right now, if you have it right now, you need to be working on your 2027 plan. Guess what? I am. My team is, and we're still doing the day-to-day functions and activities that we need to do. But 27 is coming, people. Listen, we only got 16 more days in this month, and we're back. Uh-oh, my computer locked, y'all. Okay, there you go. We only got 16 more days in this month, and August is done and over with. It's gone. And then here we come September, and it's the same thing. While you're planning for your 2027 vision plan, ask yourself, what is one revenue goal I want to accomplish? Like, I must accomplish this goal. If I don't accomplish this goal, I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. See, you can't sleep. You up. I'm up. See, I can't sleep. I'm up because I ain't accomplished the goal. That's how you got to be. What services and products do you want to expand? What are you doing? So let's just say you may be a limo driver. You already give out water and beverages. Oh, what about now? Well, guess what? You know, you can't eat in the limo like that because we ain't got no stove. But, you know, I got some nice little chips or some sandwiches. What do you want to incorporate to feed that liquor? You know what I'm saying? Anything. You just never know. Let me have some gum available for you because you're going to be talking to people and people may not want to smell that. So it's just the small things that you want to do. What systems do you want to improve? What support resources do you need or do you need to have access to? What does your business look like 1 year from today? And just sit and think about those questions. Ask yourself, how does that look for you? You know what I'm saying? Because we're ending 2026 real soon, people. I'm telling you, it's not waiting on nobody. So I want you to write down 3 accomplishments that you've done for 2026. Review the areas that you think need improvement. Then turn around and look at all your success, everything that we've talked about today. Then write down 3 goals for 2027. What actions are you going to be taking? Because that's so very, very, very important. The goal for 2027 should be stronger, smarter, and more strategically prepared. That's how it should look. And that right there is a great time now to hit the share button. Again, I want to acknowledge everybody on the live. Hey, Aunt Tootie! Aunt Tootie all the way from Las Vegas. Yo, we got DJ's Construction in the house. Yo, this is the summertime, people. You need the HVAC. He good. We finna be leaving summer, going into the winter. So I know you need some heat. If y'all love heat, DJ's Construction, he's the man. He walks around with his power drill and his hammer. He is ready. I've never seen nobody this ready. He is ready. Whatever you need fixed. Thank you, Miss Janine, for tuning in. My brother tuning in. Oh my God, I just love this. My auntie tuning in all the way from the west side that make good cakes. And y'all today when I tell you it's going to be so phenomenal because somebody bought me some cake. It's going down. But no, please love, like, and share the content. It's really appreciated. Please continue to interact with us. We so love that. We so love your feedback. You just never know how you touch us. Forget about everybody else, but you touch us. You touch me. So, as we conclude our topics and our big discussion for today, I want to remind you that building a successful business is not about just having this great idea, because we all got ideas, right? We all got them. It's about creating a structure. It's about creating a strategy. It's about creating a financial foundation to support all of your ideas, right? Funding can open those doors. Funding can also determine some of your opportunities. You have to think about your business structure. You have to think about your financial systems. You have to think about your credit strategy, and you have to think about your planning. People, get with your accountant, your tax preparer, your financial advisor. Get with these people. Utilize your resources. As you do the 90-day challenge, as you prepare to end and close 2026 and go into 2027, take time to review your business. Where has it been? What has it been through? What adjustments you can make? How do you want to enter in 2027? How does your 2027 look? Where do you want your 2027 to go? Build the systems now. Strengthen your finances. Lean on your resources, people. Lean on them. That's what they're there for. And if you feel like you're getting pushed back, if you feel like you're not getting treated right, don't spend your money with them. Go to somebody else, because it's not worth the headache. I don't care. And Mr. Underwood, I got to pick on you. He's one of the clients that I have. Rain, hail, sleet, or snow. If he got a question at 3 a.m, he going to get up and call. Miss Shavana, I got a question. And I love that. Some mornings I can answer. Some I can't. But still, people, get in touch with your resources. That's what they are there for. We're here to help. We definitely want to see your legacy grow. We want to see your business grow. We even want to see you grow as an entrepreneur and as a self-made individual. Because guess what? If your finances are all over the place at home, you don't have a good peace of mind, because you don't know where your money is coming and going. You want to get that together. You want to be ready. You don't want to get left behind, because guess what? Time and people will leave you right where you stand. So I encourage everyone to please comment, like, share the content, leave feedback, please. And until next time, I encourage everyone to stay grateful, to stay peaceful, check in on somebody, and then check on yourself. And while you're doing that, I want you to continue to walk in purpose. We love you here on Let's Talk Finance Podcast, and we'll be back to see you next Saturday. Deuces.